fall for some months and ascend. Ascend. Why? People don't know. They don't know the risks involved. That is why when they look at, I see a lot of people say, what is the need for long life if all your days you suffered? And it is a popular Yahoo Boys quote. They say, who long life help? So they are willing to momentarily for 7, 8, 10 years live in wantoness and then die untimely. Meanwhile, they don't realize yet that the life itself does not end here. There is an eternal existence that they are going to give account for, and they will now have an eternity in damnation. I don't know why people don't do that mass. So he says, teach us to number our days so that we may incline our hearts unto wisdom. It means the consciousness of eternal reality will supply wisdom to you in every matter. When you want to take a step and you remember that, you see, there is a constant eternal meditation that the soul of man must sustain if we must continue to see the big picture. What is marriage in the light of eternity? What is children in the light of eternity? What is a robust bank account in the light of eternity? What is a house, a car in the light of eternity? It will interest you to know that everything I've listed, they will all remain here. None of them have the capacity to journey with you into the great beyond. So there is no proof that you owned any of those things when you cross into an eternal existence where you will spend forever. I've caught glimpses of the sorrow of a soul that is separated from God. It leaves shiver in my body. You will be lost in eternity in utmost darkness and in sorrow and anguish. Then you will realize that the totality of your days on this side of the divide is just like a handful of bread. So while one category of believer are constantly living in worldliness and trying as much as they can to appear like they are holy and only have appointments with God, no relationship. So they only have appointments. While we have a category of believers who are only self-centered. Look at the statement of the prodigal son. Give me my own share, my own. I really don't like this arrangement of having to ask you every time. I really don't like the fact that I will need to be asking for every need. Let me have control over my own too. But mammon is not something you can control on your own. It is known to master the souls of men. This is why the Bible gave it a stature of a deity. It says you cannot serve God and mammon. It means you don't own money. Money owns you if you are not born again. And if God has not helped your soul. This is why when you look carefully at the culture built around this thing called money, you will find that it is even better for those who don't have it. They have more peace. The people who accumulate it more, they lose more sleep trying to get more of it. Then you will be asking yourself, what mystery is this? That a man ought to say, I already have enough. It's something you will never hear in the rich man's mouth. I have enough. He is working harder than a poor man. A poor man sleeps by 8 p.m. A rich man is awake by 3 a.m. Phone calls, meetings, business deals. He cannot rest because his soul is under a government. And the more he gives himself to this pursuit, the more he realizes that there is no peace, no rest inside this journey. Haven't you heard of billionaires committing suicide? That they come to a place where the totality of their estimation of their life is emptiness. That was the only thing left for Solomon to do. If you are a student of scripture, you will hear the dark utterance that began to leave his mouth. He began to analyze his life, that it is meaningless. The last thing remaining is suicide. Vanity upon vanity. He came to a point, he thought about his wealth, and he said, now a strange child will come that does not know about my labor, and then he will come and waste all of this. He said, vanity upon vanity is vanity. Another day he stood in his balcony and he looked about the way people wake up very early, almost like they ring a bell. Cling. Wake up this night by 2 a.m. and see the silence in the world. Quietness. Your street will be empty. Come out that night by 1 a.m. Now, if your area is safe, don't. Come out by 1 a.m. and look at the sky. Look at the street. Look at the roads. You will realize that the only thing that changed is the earth. The heaven was the same. Almost as though they rang a bell. From 6 a.m. Some people from 4:30. Look, let me tell you one truth. We have legitimate needs, legitimate areas of demands in our life that necessitates that we go out and make something, at least because of the responsibilities on our shoulder. But your life cannot be totally about looking for something all the time. There must be a system you build into your life to bring you like a retreat, to remember that all these things, I will leave it one day. I will leave it in the midst of my... The moment your breath leaves your nostrils, none of your pursuit is your own again. Now, what do you have? My brother, you see this wristwatch that you put like this, that you are feeling yourself? It will not be your own. The thing I'm trying to tell you is that everything that you labored for physically here has no link with you when spiritual transactions are done. And this is a message that is gradually fading away from the church. Teach us to number our days so that we may incline our heart. There are fathers here. There are fathers listening to me online. Go back to your family quickly. At the end of your life, what truly matters is not just what you accumulated. What you will be remembered for are the lives of the people you impacted. It is not always about accruing. There must be periods in your life where you step on the brake. Sometimes take a weekend. That weekend you are off. Some people work, they wake up early, sleep late at night, and the only time they have, like a weekend, like a holiday, they are in clubs, they are in beer parlors. You leave work, you that woke up by 5 a.m. from this job, what time do you have to meditate on eternal things? Almost like the totality of your existence is kept inside a simulation to keep you busy all the time, so that you never have time to contemplate on eternal matters. From work straight to a beer parlor. If your friends don't see you, they are calling you. Baba, where you there now? This place they happen. And like a zombie, you see them speeding as though something will spoil if they don't reach there. Then from work that you are tired, straight to a club. From club, you come home drunk. And then you put your head on the pillow. And then by 5 a.m. the cycle starts again. Tomorrow you do the same thing. Look at where your life is heading to. Build this thing in a repeat for 40 years and see what you have become. Go back to your family. Go back to your family. There are children that need supervision. They need somebody's eye to be watching them. You don't even know how your children are doing in school. There are mothers who are not present because they do not know the things that carry value in the realm of God. Part of the things you'll be rewarded for is the capacity to raise a godly generation. That is a ministry every parent have. It is better you never give birth But the fact that God entrusted you with children, he gave you a ministry. A child is a ministry. There are formative years in the life of a child where, like a farmer, you are watching for the weed. You see any funny behavior, it can be corrected then. Later, when you lose the opportunity to mold, he says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that from a child, thou hast known the holy scripture, which is able to make thee wise unto salvation. I didn't like Jesus from the beginning, and I'm not ashamed to acknowledge my shortcomings. My parents made sure they were supervising whether I was in service or not. So after Sunday meeting, they will ask me, what is the today's topic? And if by mistake they want to make it more difficult, which color of suit did Pastor Kumuyi wear? That's where they separate the goats from the sheep. A time came, we became very, very skillful, because we will not return home until we have known the topic of the day. We will ask questions. I've been waiting to preach today. Now, I did not know why, as far as they were concerned, you can continue with this, your hatred for the house of God, but we will be correcting you. We will be making sure you attend it. What they were doing is that they know that they can only plant a seed. And that seed they are planting, a time will come when an atmosphere, an environment will be conducive enough for the seed that has been planted to germinate. Many of us did not get our salvation under our parents' roof. Some of us, it is the things they installed in our life that made sure that as we left home, we met children from all other kinds of home. And no matter the kind of peer pressure, there's only how far we could fall. Because like a virus, your parents infected you with God. They made sure that something resonates every time you wanted to take a step. They knew that they will not stay with you forever. So the brief period they have, they made sure they exposed you. Layers of scriptures. Most of the Bible verses that have registered in my soul, it was my children church teacher that taught me. They made us recite memory verse. We memorize a full psalm. And today, I am excited anytime I see them still on that same ancient project till today. We had men who have gone to complete Bible school, the total workers training course of the Deeper Life Church, but their jurisdiction is children church. I'm talking about people who are highly placed in their respective secular engagement, but their jurisdiction, their ministry, like Daniel said, my place is here. He comes from the work tired. You see him with his suit. He drove for some months and ascend. Why?